The most asked question, can a diabetic eat bread? This is the Happy Diabetic Kitchen, the podcast about people who love to eat and cook healthy. This is your guide to the world of healthy cooking and conversations about happy diabetic living and lifestyles, where we simply turn ordinary ingredients into something extraordinary. Welcome to the kitchen, and let's get cooking. Hello everyone, I am Chef Robert Lewis, the Happy Diabetic, and this is the internet's most delicious cooking podcast. I'm here in the kitchen getting ready to explore a healthy diabetic lifestyle. I want to take the mystery out of healthy cooking, explore some amazing foods and my diabetic journey with all my successes and all my many challenges. Let me help you live your best diabetic lifestyle. So welcome to the kitchen, and if you're new to the show, I'm happy you're here. With me in the kitchen, as always, is my son Jason, engineer, producer of the podcast. Hello, Jason. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Never had it so good. Having a great day here in beautiful Iowa. So listen, let's talk bread for a moment. Now, I love to bake bread. Jason, you're a good bread baker. I know you love to do it. But it is the question that I get asked a lot. I'm diabetic. Can I eat bread? All those nasty carbohydrates.
Makes sense. I would want to know that also.
Yeah. And really, again, I know I sound like a broken record, friends, but everything is part of a healthy lifestyle way of eating for diabetics, with maybe the exception of cotton candy. And of course, unless your doctor, endocrinologist, nutritionist says don't eat something, that trumps everything. But I want to talk about bread today. I also have the recipe of the podcast. It's my garden bruschetta. Head over to my website, happydiabetic.com, and you will see a beautiful picture of this bruschetta on French bread, toasted and delicious on the main page. That's your recipe of the day. And of course, farmers markets are in full swing, blazing like a torch, and there are amazing tomatoes everywhere. So check out that recipe. And we're going to talk about what's the best bread for people with diabetes and much, much more. So let's head to the kitchen and get cooking. So listen, Jason, we know bread is a popular food and really a key element of the diet in many countries all around the world. Bread is often super high in carbohydrates. So people living with diabetes often wonder if they can still eat it. Well, here's the good news. And that is that most people can eat bread unless, like I said earlier, a doctor advises them otherwise. However, it should be a part of a healthy diabetic lifestyle way of eating, but especially eating the right kind of bread. Whole grain breads with high fiber ingredients like oats, brands are usually going to be the best option for people living with diabetes like myself. Now, making bread at home, flour, water, yeast, salt, that's it. Mix in grains, mix in quinoa, high fiber ingredients can really turn your delicious homemade bread into an amazing nutritional source. But let's just be honest, carbs are carbs, and they do impact your blood sugar levels. If you take whole wheat bread and white bread, they both have the same amount of carbohydrates. But try this test at home. Get yourself some tree barky, whole grain, nutty bread. Take a little piece, put it in a glass of water, and just watch it. Leave it sit there overnight, and when you come back, you'll probably find that bread still intact because it just has all this fiber and doesn't dissolve quickly. So high fiber bread, whole wheat bread, whole grain breads, when you eat them, they digest very slowly, not to spike your blood sugars. Now do the same test with white bread. Take a piece of white bread, a little chunk of it, put it in some cold water, let it sit overnight. My guess is the next morning it will be completely dissolved. Well, that's what white bread does in your body. It dissolves so fast, it spikes your blood sugars. It gives your body that rush of glucose. And that spiking of blood sugars is what really is damaging for you. So remember this, though. I used to think carbohydrates was like the evil, right? Because a lot of people think carbohydrates are bad for you. They're not bad for you. Carbohydrate is one of the three major nutrients essential to human health. And listen, nutrition plays a critical role in diabetes care. Proper dietary planning, lifestyle choices, taking your medicine when you're supposed to, personally manage your blood sugars is the key of a healthy diabetic lifestyle. But remember, carbohydrates, again, will also raise blood sugars and can effectively help you lose a little bit of your control of your blood sugars, mainly because carbohydrates break down fast into blood sugars, right? So the key in keeping your blood sugars in check after a meal is to choose food items that contain quality carbohydrates. Quality carbohydrates that rate low or medium in the glycemic index, complex carbs found in fruits and vegetables. I always like to choose wholemeal breads, right? They're available. Stone ground flour, less processed flour will always be healthier. And of course, anytime you can reduce the sugar content, that would be a home run also. Think about it this way. When bread uses yeast to rise, it usually needs sugar to feed the yeast. So many commercial breads contain way more sugar than is necessary. And if you make bread at home or by hand or even in a bread machine, the amounts of sugar are small. As a matter of fact, I make bread all the time. Water, salt, yeast, flour. That's it. There's no sugar in my bread. So if you can learn to make bread at home using very simple ingredients, it's just going to be flat out healthier. So some ingredients that might be really great in your bread: flaxseed meal, chia seeds, wheat bran, oats. Those are the things that help bread to digest slowly. That's the key to enjoying bread. And when I talk about diabetes-friendly breads, most commercially available breads contain refined, highly refined white flour. They contain almost no fiber and can cause your blood sugar to rise and go through the roof. Turn the bread over. Look how much fiber. Try to buy breads that are high in fiber. And even wheat bread may be made with refined wheat, not whole grain, which again acts just like refined white bread, causing your blood sugars to go through the ceiling. So beware of packaging and labeling of breads. They can really help and guide you to the right foods that you should be eating. So think about it this way. When I'm eating bread, I'm looking for fiber-enriched whole grain bread. I'm looking for multi-grain breads. Lots of grains, lots of particles, lots of tree bark in it is what I like to call it. That high fiber multi-grain sandwich bread, that's going to be your best choice. I also love low carbohydrate tortillas and low carbohydrate wraps. They make excellent breads for mini pizzas, homemade burritos, tacos, those kinds of things. And of course, I love baking bread from scratch. Many recipes for making grain-free bread are available on the internet. And then you just simply add in all of the mix-ins and all of the particles to really beef up the fiber. I'm going to list some recipes for some homemade breads that are very basic and simple on my website. So, what is the so what moment? Unless a doctor or dietitian advises you, people with diabetes, listen carefully, may not need to eliminate bread or bread products from your diet. Consult your doctor, consult your dietitian, learn how to make every part of food a part of your happy diabetic lifestyle way of eating. So here's my lesson from Jason. So we like to hang out a lot, and he likes to come over with his family, and we'll make bread, we'll make sandwiches. I tend to be very heavy-handed on my bread slices. But one day Jason said, "Hey, I'll make sandwiches," and he sliced my homemade whole wheat white bread kind of thin. And I thought to myself, "Oh, really? That's kind of chintzy." But I ate the sandwich, and I thought to myself, I didn't need all that bread. It was the perfect thinness of bread. So I've learned from Jason just to like go easy on the slice. Get a nice sharp knife, easy on the slice. Low carbohydrate, multigrain, whole grain breads, they're going to be the best option. Can diabetics eat bread? Absolutely. Enjoy every slice and enjoy everything in moderation. If you're loving what you hear in the kitchen, please leave a comment or feedback at Stitcher, Google Play, or iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening. Trust me, your thoughts and comments are very much appreciated. Thank you so much for being with me. Our podcast is produced and engineered by Jason Lewis. Our theme music by the Happy Diabetic Kitchen Band. And of course, our kitchen mascots, Scout and Tucker. Tucker's in the studio with us today, sound asleep. And I suspect Scout is also somewhere sound asleep. I think they're bored to tears with this whole podcast thing. What do you think, Jason?
Probably.
Yeah, I think they are. But hey, whatever. All right, everybody, listen. Just know this, that I love you. Thank you for tuning in, and let me leave you with this thought. Mark Twain once said, "The secret of success in life is to eat what you like and let the food fight it out inside." So long for now, and remember, no one loves you more than me.